Thank you so much, Gabby. And thank you all for joining us on this beautiful Sunday at EcoFair 2020 and for joining the Sustainable Living panel. As Gabby mentioned, my name is Andre Forsyth from the organization Canadian Climate Challenge, and I'll be your moderator for this panel, where our panelists will be advising solutions from a variety of areas that are all focused on how to help you achieve a more sustainable living. We are on a tight schedule today, so don't look away for a second, and please feel free to engage in the YouTube chat with any of our panelists. And so with that, let's go to our first panelist from Sage Living Toronto. And if you can briefly describe and let us know who you are and what exactly it is you do. So over to you, Bettina.
Thanks, Andre. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. My name is Bettina Hoar. I run a sustainable construction coaching firm. So essentially, I help you understand what it is that you can look at, how to empower you to make a healthier and more sustainable renovation. And it's just thrilling to be here, and let's get to the panel. See the rest of us.
That's awesome. Thank you, Bettina. And next we have Jane from Springbay Studio, and same to you. If you can let us know who you are and what it is that you guys do.
Thank you so much, Andre. My name is Jane G, co-founder and president of Springbay Studio. Many of us are taking our responsibility to fight for climate change now, and the next generation will have to be among the most environmentally conscious in modern history. And we know children are attracted to screens, and we can make their screen time count for an eco-focused mindset. The research from the United Nations Environmental Program shows that video games have the potential to trigger huge directional shifts in thinking and in action. We have created 3 video games and received 9 awards, including the best app for teaching and learning from the American Association of School Librarians, and were recognized by the United Nations Environment Program. And we are the only Canadian educational game developer focused exclusively on environmental science. Thank you.
That's awesome. So making screen time green time. I think that's very interesting. Thank you, Jane. And next we have Sustainable Environment Solutions with David. David, can you hear me? Okay, let's give David a sec. We'll come back to David. So we'll skip forward to the Roots Collective, and I think we have Halyna today from Roots Collective. Halyna, are you there? Wonderful, thank you.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm too very excited, thankful to be here. So we are, the Roots Collaborative is a not-for-profit cooperative, and we work with businesses and communities to promote environmental, social, economic, and personal well-being. And I'm very excited here today to share with you an initiative that we're working on right now. It's called the Home Energy Savings Initiative, and it's all about providing information to homeowners and renters about the variety of different incentive programs that are out there right now, and it gets pretty confusing for people. So we've hired a number of young people to provide information, and the whole purpose is to eventually create a social enterprise whereby we're employing young people and individuals experiencing barriers to employment to be able to enter the green economy. So we're really excited about that. And if you're interested, I think the website is going to be posted, so please do get in touch.
That's wonderful, Halyna. I think you had us all at hiring young people. I think we can all support that for sure. So thank you for that little bit of background information. And next we'll go to the Toronto Vegetarian Association. Lainey, are you with us?
Yes, I am here. So I'm Lainey. I'm with the Toronto Vegetarian Association, and we are a nonprofit organization based in Toronto. And our overall mandate is to inspire people to choose a healthier, greener, more compassionate lifestyle through plant-based eating. So we are a membership organization. So if people are interested to become a member, either to learn more about the resources that we have to support people to either pursue a more plant-based diet, or if they are looking to join the community, we have a number of resources that are available to the public.
That's awesome. And I'm so sad that this year we're missing out on the is it the Toronto Vegetarian Food Fest?
Veg Food Fest.
Veg Food Fest.
But yes, if anybody has come across that, we always have it at Harborfront the first weekend after Labor Day weekend. So hopefully, fingers crossed next year, but we are continuing to have events hosted online, similar to how EcoFair is doing this. So yeah, to always keep tabs on our social media to see what's going on in the internet sphere.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm David, I'm back.
Oh, yay, David's back. Okay, excellent. I thought
Can you hear me?
Yes, we thought you went outside to enjoy the sun, so we're glad you came back to join us. So David, just where we had left off was we want to find out who you are and what you're working on.
Okay, great. As I told you, my old computer was old and it went off just as I was to go on. So I'm David Katz, former financial evaluations officer at Ontario Hydro. I started sustainable resources management, sustainable environmental solutions 25 years ago. So we basically help buildings be more sustainable. And one of the things that I presented at EcoFair, to go to what Diane was saying and making our buildings better, is our building envelope. And so Magnetite, which is a product that's on the video you just saw of my company, is my client that helps buildings improve their existing windows. And that is the key to saving energy.
That and just for clarification, is that just residential or commercial or in both?
No, effectively all windows. We're focusing on big buildings, little buildings. It's been around for 30 years. It's at Memorial University, Humber College. Enercan says 25% of your energy goes out your windows.
Wonderful. Thank you for clarifying that. I mean, that's not enough time to find out enough about all of you and the incredible work that you're doing. We are going to get one more question in, but just a reminder, if anyone wants to engage more with any of our panelists, please, their links are being posted in the chat, so feel free to check out their sites or engage with them directly. They're very friendly people, so feel free to ask them any question you're comfortable with. And with that, we'll go to our next question, because I think, and we decided on this one because I think we always leave these incredible, inspiring meetings, which we're not getting to go to in person nearly as much, hoping for guidance on tangible steps that we can take that matter. And so if all our panelists can turn their cameras on and we can have a bit of a discussion about, I'd love to hear what sustainable living actions you would recommend for our audience to take. And why don't we'll start with you, Halyna, is that okay?
Sure. Well, I would definitely say for us in particular, it's about taking that first step. So that's really what HESI is all about, the Home Energy Savings Initiative. It's about, we know it's sort of confusing out there as far as, again, the incentive programs for home energy efficiency. So just reach out to us or take that first step. Better Homes TO, for example, is a great resource that the City of Toronto has put out there. It's a great website which has all of the different programs, and again, they provide a lot of insight as to what that first step could be. So I think as soon as you take that first step, sort of the path starts to clear and it becomes more apparent what your next few steps will then be.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with that more. I see Bettina nodding a lot there. Did you want to build on that?
I think it's terrific. There's so many programs out there, and I think sometimes we're afraid to take that first step because you're not sure where it is. And don't worry, the more you learn and the more you look out to understand that any building that you're in is a system. And just like our bodies are systems, we want to treat not just individual bits of it, but you want to treat the whole of it. And the more you understand how things are interconnected and how you can make change that makes sense. So don't put in, diamond-studded teeth, for instance, if you're just a simple person. Do things in balance. Just like we think about our body and having balance in our body, we want to have the same thing with the buildings that we live in. We want to find balance.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you, Bettina. Jane, I see you also nodding as well. Or David, did you want to jump in?
Well,
David,
I just want to build on that.
Yeah, of course.
Effectively, both the home energy audit and what Bettina just said, one of the key things that everybody can do is look at your Enbridge bill and look at your Toronto Hydro bill. Those things are provided to you. They're online. You could see your monthly consumption, and you can clearly see what you're spending on heating, hot water, air conditioning, and plug load. And that may give you a sense of where you should save and what you should do. I hope that's helpful.
And if I can push on you one more, because I feel like we're at the, that's great advice. So if I was looking at those bills and pulling my hair out, what step am I going to take to move in a more sustainable direction?
The key is you can see when your air conditioning went on by your hydro bill jumping in June, July, and August. And you could separate your heating, gas heating, from your hot water just by knowing when you turned on your furnace. So when you see those amounts, and you can tie money to them, you can see if it's beneficial to insulate and to do other things.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And,
Thank you.
I'll just add, the federal, just to build on incentives, the feds are coming out with $2 billion. So the feds are going to give the province more money, which will either go to the IESO and to Enbridge to help us improve. Thanks.
Thank you, David. And Jen, I haven't heard from you for a while. And I feel like you come at this from a unique perspective. What advice would you have for our audience on sustainable living actions they could take? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Hold on. I don't want to miss any of your advice. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I love all the advice from the panelists. I think, you know, if there's one more thing I can add, while you are looking at your the energy bills, how about invite your children to look through that together? Because we know it will require generations of a continuous effort for our survival. I really love the presentation from Dr. Diane Sachs at the beginning, and in one of her slides, there were two children sitting in the front. They are really leading the next, you know, the big steps for us. So if you invite your children to look at the energy bills together and look at what you can do at home, if you think this is kind of maybe too much for them, I would say download our app and let the kids to play, to learn why, you know, how species are connecting to each other, how we are part of the entire ecosystem, and what is our impact. And most importantly, what we can do together to make some positive changes for this world, even at their young age. So that's really was building the hope together with the future generation. That would be something I would suggest. Thank you.
And that is a great suggestion, coming from someone who's enjoyed video games maybe a little bit too much for large segments of his life. To have that option, that was never even an option when we got into video games. So again, absolutely incredible. Lainey, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Even going off of that, again, having or setting a good example, the importance of that, and having or getting people involved regardless of generations. I think that importance of community, that's something as an organization that we really value, involving anybody, especially in our landscape of plant-based eating, regardless of where they are in that journey. One thing that people could try out if they're curious to learn more about the impact that their food choices have on the environment is to try our 7-Day Veggie Challenge. It can be found at 7dayveggiechallenge.com. I'm pretty sure that's the URL, but I can put that in the live chat as well. And it's just a free online 7-day challenge where you get plant-based recipes sent to you. So if you're trying it out, want to just kind of reduce your consumption of animal products, that's a good way to just get started and kind of like learn more about the impact. Yeah, just be, I guess just to go off of it, I did a little bit of math because I was also curious about specifically water consumption. And according to the FAO, it was 11,900 kilometers cubed of fresh water annually that is consumed by the livestock industry. So it's a really great place to start. just on like a larger scale, just by being a bit more conscious of what you're consuming and how you can kind of help lower that number a little bit.
Let me just add to the water issue. People forget that even though Toronto Hydro is next to Lake Ontario, there's a massive amount of energy to make clean water, pump it through the city, and have you literally waste it by having your tap running when you're brushing your teeth or leaving the water on. So I think that's a very important thing in terms of the environment. And it saves money by having low flow toilets and shower heads and actions that you.
Oop. Okay. Were you finished, David?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. And so I love that last point that Lainey touched on, was setting a good example. And I love that the Toronto Veg Association is very open to whatever stage in your journey you are in transitioning your diet, and very welcoming. And I think that ties back to helping people take that first step. So Jane had a great point with intergenerational engagement, which is wonderful. Halyna mentioning Better Homes TO, and David bringing up taking a look at your energy bill. So we only have about a minute left. So I just wanted to see if maybe by any chance, if any of you remember what your first step was.
Sorry, Andre, I just want to say on the point of what can your next step be, if you go to the Better Homes Store, they point you to the EnerGuide Home Energy Evaluation. So that's a really great place to start doing an evaluation, getting a sense of where your home is. So, and my first step, it was just, I think just learning about what's going on, and then it just sort of inspires you to take action.
Yeah, not being afraid, don't be afraid to ask questions. Because none of us knew when we first started out with our companies, none of us knew what we were doing, and we just learned, and you can learn with us. We're all in this together.
I can't agree more.
And I'll just say, I saw the first solar that was 10 times the cost of current solar, and now we can literally put solar on our roof. I think our roofs will soon be solar roofs in some ways, and we have the power to the technologies. We don't have the structural changes needed.
For sure. And Jane, we'll just give you the last word before we wrap up the panel.
Sure.
I felt like you had one more thing you wanted to get in there.
Yeah, I can't wait to add more. I think I definitely agree with whatever Bettina said. I think, when we started, we're just really kind of parents with deep concerns about the future generations. So like we use our skill sets in the video game trying to help, regardless what your business background, your skill sets are, as long as you are willing to help, I think your passion and your heart will help you find a path.
That's wonderful. And I thank you all so much for participating. Clearly you could go on all day with each and every one of our panelists. So I encourage you to do so as much as you can in your chat. And I'm just reminded of one quote that I heard through Climate Fast, was in their kitchen tables conversations. One of the things that they bring up is when you poll people at home, everyone is concerned about climate change. But then the question is, when you ask them if they think their neighbors are, nobody thinks their neighbor is. So just remember that there is a space where everyone out there is concerned, and as you take that first step and connect with other people, is how you're going to get more sustainable living solutions into your life. So thank you everyone for participating. Gabby, I think we are turning it back to you to take back over.